Hey everyone, welcome to the Sackhoff Show. I am your host, Katee Sackhoff. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful, hot as hell in the Pacific Northwest day, Tuesday. We know that in this overcrowded podcast space, you being here and choosing the Sackhoff Show is such a gift, and we are so happy that you're here. So thank you so much. If you want to support the show further, you can join our Patreon. Yes, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/The Sackhoff Show. There's tons of perks and merch is coming. It's a really great community that we're building, and I hope to see you there. I want to remind you all that this weekend I'm going to be at Soda City Comic-Con, which is in Columbia, South Carolina. And next Thursday and Friday, I will be in Atlanta at DragonCon. So come out, see me if you're in the area. I'd love to say hi. Our guest this week is somebody who I've just recently met, but we have so many mutual friends in common. It's pretty crazy. My guest this week is Rahul Kohli. You would know Rahul from iZombie. I'm just going to read this because it's like every Mike Flanagan project ever other than iZombie. The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass. He just did The Fall of the House of Usher, which was absolutely amazing. He also plays the Scarecrow in Harley Quinn, which I love that show. And he is also in Carrie. The moment I met him, I loved him. He's just like such a cool person. He's like that person you see across the room and you go, damn, that person's cool. That's Rahul. And he's so awesome. And I loved getting to know him a little bit better. This conversation goes off the rails. And I love every single second of it. So I'm just going to get out of your way. I want to remind you all to send your comments and your questions to the sackhoffshow@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. Okay, that's it. That's my announcements. That's the intro. I'm going to get out of your way finally so you can get to know my new friend, Rahul Kohli, a little bit better.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I feel like I just saw you.
Oh, really? It feels like I wasn't even there. As soon as I got back to LA, I was like, forgot about Carrie immediately.
Well, it's not like you don't have other things going on.
No, I really don't. I don't have anything going on.
Well, it seems so crazy to me because I was actually looking at like everything that you had going on, and you had Life of Chuck.
Yeah.
And the show We Were Liars literally out at the same time.
Yeah. I'm like Pedro Pascal.
You are.
Didn't he have like 6 films come out in 12 months or something? There's something crazy like that.
He did. Yeah. But like, don't let people turn on you and do the like, you notice how that happens though? It's happening with Sydney Sweeney right now where it's like everyone loves to be like, yeah, we love an underdog. Go. Yeah, Pedro. Hey, daddy. And then like all of a sudden he's in everything and they're like, fuck that Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, guy. I've got Pedro fatigue. No,
not
I
only
know.
That,
it's one of those
have you
things.
seen him? He just looks like a bad guy. There's something going on, right?
Yeah. It's always like that, right? It's the, with Pedro anyway, it's like, we love building you up and then pulling you down. And then we like bringing you back up again on the reunion tour.
Of course.
You made it out of there. Like Free Britney, like we're all responsible and the media for how her mental health degraded. And then we all were like, we're going to get her back and we're going to liberate her from the shit we did to her too.
I think you're right. I think that there is something satisfying of when things aren't going well at home, you can go to the playground and punch the kid. We were just talking to our daughter about this because we were, she goes to school and, you sort of want to like figure out who your kid's friends are.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, well, that kid, like he's got some bully tendencies, but like they're 3. So like, do they really? But then you start to look at them and they're like, oh, I get it. you know about circumstances that are going on at home with maybe one kid, and maybe they've just got a brand new sibling, or maybe they've got two siblings at home and they come to school and like they don't have their siblings anymore. And they're like, oh, there's other kids my age, I'm going to shove them.
Right.
And it just comes from this thing of like, we react. Kids are emotional. They're irrational and they're emotional all times of the day, a million times of the day. Yeah. And physicality sometimes feels good when you are upset. And I feel like that's what the internet sometimes is for people. Like when they're, that's the playground.
Well, I think there was a time when I had a lot more back and forths on social media, and they had a bee in their bonnet for whatever reason. And it's not to say that I was innocent. I may have said something that was insensitive, or whatever. Like, it's sometimes it's a minor thing, but the reaction isn't justified necessarily. And I remember on a few occasions going private with them and being like, what's going on? And 9 times out of 10, that person's like, I just lost my job. So I came out swinging. And so I always, I do always take that into consideration, that really, for all of us, we're all the main characters of our story. And Sydney Sweeney and Pedro Pascal, and they're people in our dream. They're background, they're extras in our story. And when we are not happy, or when something's going on, or like you said, you want to go out and you want to just like get a reaction out of someone. Fuck you, don't like your dress, don't like your film, da 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 da. Yeah, I guess that's what that is. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like I knew that. Like there was this point for me where I think I said it on an interview, because there was on a very small scale, tiny scale, when The Haunting of Bly Manor came out and Midnight Mass. I was being referred to as like, a daddy, this, that kind of Pedro thing that was bubbling and whatever. And I leaned into it. And I remember the journalist bringing it up, and I sort of batted it away. I was like, it's not real. It's because I'm not popular. It's because they've decided and put that label upon me. But the minute that I embrace that label, or that label becomes popular, or other people feel it, I'll start to be criticized for my looks. He's not even that hot. He's mid. He's this, he's that. Because once it becomes popular, that, you know what I mean? When it's small, when it feels like only 3 people discovered me on one of Netflix's biggest shows, when it feels like that, it's fun to celebrate. But the second I go, yeah, I'm daddy. Yeah, no, like, or I do a magazine shoot that is clearly sexualized. That's the second that will be gone, and they'll be like, yeah, he's cringe. I never liked him anyway. He's he looks like Dev Patel of Wish or whatever. Those will be the tweets.
Do you find yourself, because you said you pulled back from social media, like was that a protection mechanism? Was that you understanding that like you were oversharing, or you were putting things out there, or what was the reason behind that?
It was all contained in one moment, because I was very I was on it a lot, and I was receiving a lot of benefits from it, like I was actually getting work. I was kind of I don't want it to be known for that, but like even if I was a smaller role in a show, the social media side of it and the engagement made my role look bigger, made my involvement look like a bigger deal. So there was benefits to it. So I was on there being sassy, saying whatever, dipping my toe into a lot of stuff. And I definitely was on it a bit too much. And I knew that. And my partner had told me that too. But what had happened was I'd just finished a show. I'd flown to London. I didn't get to see my I have one sister. She just had her firstborn. And I didn't get to see him born because I was filming. But I went back for Christmas. And that was the first time I saw him. And there I was holding my nephew. I was in the living room. And I was holding him while talking to my family. And it was very contained and so different from the whirlwind that was just the shoot. And then I think my sister took him. And I maybe went out for a smoke or something. And I looked at Twitter. And the first thing on my notification was a tweet that said, it said something along the lines of, I don't know why people think Rahul Kohli's attractive. He looks like any old Indian truck driver. This is like white eyes. Something about that. I don't know. Some nonsense. And I saw it and I was like, whatever. And then I looked at the bio and it was like a kid. Who gives a shit? But it stayed a bit too long. And I was just like,
Yeah.
And I hadn't looked at social media for that whole day because I was with my nephew. And I realized that like at this most beautiful private moment where it should be only about me and my family and this moment that's happening in our family of this new generation, some kid got to me, even for 10 minutes. He got to me and it bothered me and it rocked me for a second and I had to shake it off. And I was like, and I realized as well that I had normalized reading, 100 compliments and 5 negs, right? So I'd normalized that. And because I'd come off for a bit due to travel and going home, I realized how actually I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have that behavior that we do when we read about ourselves. That is abnormal. My sister doesn't have to read what a stranger thinks about her face or her voice or whatever, her weight, but I do. And like I said, it basically just felt like something penetrated my safe zone, like a bullet was fired into my house. And I was like, okay, I need to stop this. I need out because I shouldn't be thinking about some knobhead who managed to just knock my mood for 10 minutes. And I deleted there and then on the spot and after 10 years. So that was it. As soon as I felt like it attacked me at a moment of solitude, I was like, I'm out and I don't want this anymore. So that was Twitter, gone. And it wasn't like planned. I just deleted it. And then and the first fear was, oh my God, I won't know what's going on in the world. How will I know what Elon Musk has done tomorrow? How will I know what movie's coming out or what video game's being released or what act has been cast? And then after 3 days, I didn't give a shit. I'll just find out normally through the normal channels. I don't need to be that plugged into every single event and what everyone has to say about everything I'm in. And it was the most freeing thing in the world.
We talk about that a lot in our family because we are, even though our daughter is only 3, we are very aware of decisions other parents have made for electronics, technology, social media, things like that. And, how schools are going more digital. And so you sit here and you keep the iPads and the phones away from your kids at home and you implement these rules and then they go to school and then they have to log on at school. And that feels so strange to me. And so I literally said to my husband, who was homeschooled till he was about 12 and his older brothers were homeschooled much longer than he was. And I said, what do you think about that for a while? And he was like, it's in my mind. And I was like, okay, cool. Because
so you're considering homeschooling?
We are. I think we've always sort of considered it just because he was, so it seems so normal in a sense to us.
Sure.
It's literally influence. It's just blanket influence of other children who are influenced by their parents who then come to school and then influence your child. And it's as much as, like we said, the bullying thing. Like our daughter is like, I don't touch, I don't shove, I don't do like body autonomy. I don't put my hands on somebody in a negative or in an angry way when I'm frustrated. Things like that. We don't kick, we don't do this. And then she goes to school and sees people do it. And then how many times is she going to see that to then make it normal?
Yeah. What good is what you're doing at home and how quickly is it being undone? But
especially when they get older and they're at school for so long.
I mean, we're gonna really sound old here. Old, let's do it. But I do, fuck's sake, I do look back now and think, holy crap, I'm so glad we didn't have social media as teenagers or younger, because I don't think I was a bully and bullied. I was a weird one. Like I had a mouth on me. Yeah, because I mean, look, so I was one of like 4 brown kids in my school, or at least in my year.
Where'd you grow up in England?
This is in London, yeah. Okay. And I went to a pretty tough school for some reason. I don't know why my parents made this decision to just like let's send him to the worst school possible. It wasn't even close. I had to travel to the worst school possible.
Really?
Yeah, it was a really weird choice. But so I was definitely a minority there. And I was 6 foot by the time I was like 11. So I was a target. I was just this big, lanky guy. But I had a mouth on me. So I was kind of, you know what? The Karate Kid always was the perfect example of who I was. Daniel LaRusso was being bullied, but Daniel LaRusso also was a prick and slapped back. And, you know, I had that vibe. So I wasn't a victim completely. However, at 3 p.m., it stopped. No matter what was going on at 3 p.m., it stopped. And then it would resume the next day. It didn't follow me home. I went home, saw my parents, watched TV, do my homework, put on a movie, whatever I did. That was it. And the thought of being cyberbullied, the thought that it doesn't stop at 3, that it comes back with you. You know, we didn't have cell phones, didn't become a thing until I was about 14.
Yeah.
So I was just on the tail end where, you text your parents, that was about it, maybe a couple of, girlfriends, whatever. But that was it. It wasn't, but yeah, none of this, none of the Facebook, none of the Instagrams or all over. They all came when I was in my 20s. So yeah, I cannot imagine just how awful that would have felt if it didn't stop at 3 o'clock, that it came home and it was relentless.
Well, I find it refreshing that there's this acknowledgement now in society that we clearly understand the negative ramifications of social media and I'm just going to say social media because I believe there are some great things that come from technology. So I won't say that.
Sure. Yeah.
But we are now also in a weird place where you have very clear decisions to make. And if you don't say no and you don't take the phones away from your kids and you don't not allow them to have it, you are allowing everyone into your home on a minute by minute basis that can influence your child's mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
And you're saying that's okay. Like we say to our child, like we have our one job is to keep you safe.
Yeah.
That means from everyone as long as we can. And I know that's naive, but it's the job. Like,
of course.
You make the uncomfortable decisions. You say no, you know.
Well, in our day, I'm sure both our parents, guardians, whatever our situation was growing up, it was like, obviously, at home, our safety, but it was also like, what movie are they watching? How violent is that? What's the certification? What video game is that? Is he playing something he shouldn't? Like, what's his friends doing? Is he smoking weed? Is he having cigarettes? He smells like smoke. That was about it. Yeah. And I think this adds this extra, like you said, like this anonymous layer of now it's like, especially as a man and young men, oh my God, I'm terrified of like my nephew and what is about to get pumped into his head about high value women and body counts and I'm terrified because those people, when they used to talk and it was on a one-to-one basis in a group, we would make fun of them.
Yes.
And now they're just being pumped into their YouTubes, into their, podcasts, whatever, down their Instagram algorithms, their reels. And it's just terrifying because you don't know. Unless you're completely monitoring every single thing that they're watching, you don't know what kind of false prophet has decided to hijack your kids.
Yeah.
And so, I'm terrified for young men, especially because I've seen some of the stuff that they're consuming.
Yeah.
I'm only 39 and,
No, you're not. Like, as much as we're like, we're so old, like, we're actually not. We're like, we're still... I remember when my parents were my age and they were young.
Yeah, right.
So,
I was at my mum's 40th and I turned 14 or 15 a few months afterwards. I was a teenager when my mum turned 40. I'm 39 and I just have a dog. And I barely think I think even that might be too much responsibility for
I don't know, it's alive. You know what I mean? It seems really happy.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile. It's still summer. And you know what doesn't belong in your summer? I mean, we know that we love the barbecues and the 3-day weekends, which we have one coming up. Your wireless bill should not ruin your epic summer plans. Do not get burned by your old wireless bill. So I learned, and that's why I made the switch to Mint Mobile. With Mint, you can get the same coverage and the speed that you're used to, which is key, but for way less money. I mean, who doesn't want that, guys? The exact same thing you're used to, but for less money. Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15. So while your friends are out there sweating over data overages and surprise charges, we've all been there, hello, you'll be chilling, literally and financially. When I go to conventions, I have a credit card reader, and I was using my Mint to log into my credit card reader because I need the wireless of my phone to use my credit card reader. And while everyone around me was like, I don't have wireless, I was fine, because all plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Sackhoff. That's mintmobile.com/Sackhoff. Upfront payments of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabyte on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. This episode is brought to you by OneSkin. So we already know that we're supposed to wear sunscreen. I mean, that's a given. We hear about it all the time. But what if your sunscreen could do more than just block the sun? I mean, what if it could actually protect against collagen loss, calm down inflammation, or even help repair some of the damage that we all did when we were younger? Hello, I know you're out there because I did too. That's what I've learned using OneSkin. So their mineral SPFs have been a game changer. I've been trying out the face, the body, and the lip formula, and here's what I've noticed. Not only am I covered against UV damage now, but my skin actually feels smoother and looks more even. A couple of the age spots and the fine lines that are probably there from all that sun damage from when I was younger, they're not as noticeable anymore. And honestly, I wasn't expecting to see that. And I wasn't expecting to love the lip SPF as much as I do. It's in my bag. I use it all the time. The face SPF is super lightweight. You can get it tinted or untinted. And the body SPF is water resistant and helps prevent against collagen loss, which is huge. And the lip, which I mentioned, it's hydrating right away. And it keeps your lips plump and firm. Everything is made from mineral non-nano zinc oxide, antioxidants like vitamin C, and their OS01 peptide. So you're not just protecting your skin, you're nourishing it and repairing it at the same time. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using code SACKOFF at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code SACKOFF. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support your show and tell them we sent you. I want to talk about video games because you brought it up, like, and your youth in London.
Yeah.
What was it about video games that because they're still such a huge part of your life now?
Yeah, it is.
What was it about video games that that you gravitated toward?
I don't know. It was just love at first sight. Like one of my first memories, I must have been about 3. My dad had like a real old computer, and the cassette tapes had like games on them. And they, you'd load one in, and it would take about 7 to 8 minutes to load the most basic game. And I was just fascinated from a really young age. And then it was also like, I think a lot of it also has to do with like time and products of, your generation. Like as I was approaching the age of about 6 or 7, Nintendo and Sega were like doing the Sonic the Hedgehogs, and Street Fighter had come out. And like, these were like big, big, big parts of the 90s. When I was 11, we had GoldenEye and Zelda. We had these like real big staples of like gaming heritage. And I think, it was an amalgamation of things. Also, like basically all my older cousins, all my best friends, everyone, we were all just constantly consuming games. And it was the first time, it was the only thing I really loved, that and movies. And I just had a sister, and we did play a lot, and we're very close, but like I didn't grow up, like I think I spent most of the week alone after school, and games was like my best mate. So, it kept me company. It was escapism when I was, going through your usual teenage angst and things and stuff. And I was like, I think I want to be in games. I think I want to make video games. That was my first sort of call to like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then it all changed when I saw Star Wars. And then I was like, no, I want to be in film. Forget games. But it came back around. So I ended up being an actor in games. So I still sort of, did what the kid version of me wanted me to do. But I just think it's the purest form of escapism. I think it's one of the most kind of engaging ways to tell a story. Like it's, film can be very passive, and TV, we sit there, we watch, and it's fed to us. With games, they have an opportunity to almost walk you through their story and make you feel like you're making those choices and getting the message across. Like The Last of Us is a great example of that. That's a point where I was like, wow, we can, you actively do things that at the end you're having the existential crisis that the protagonist is having, because you did things you probably shouldn't have done, and you're wondering, am I the monster, or are they the monster? Whereas, there's a passive version of that with a zombie type show. And when I realized that they could do that, and then the acting obviously started going amazing. The acting started going through the roof with advancements with mocap and PCAP. I think it's become, for me, my favorite medium over everything.
To be in or to play?
To play as an audience member. To be in, I do not like making
mocap
video games. No, I loved mocap. I love PCAP. Right now, I've got a game coming out for PlayStation called Saros, and that's been full mocap PCAP. The booth stuff I'm not so keen on. All the projects I do, because I don't enjoy the work, it has to be like, I did a Warhammer video game, and what got me through the monotony of reading lines cold was, oh my God, this franchise is rocks. That's what gets me through it. But then when we did PCAP mocap, I liked PCAP mocap more than screen acting.
Oh, it's so much fun.
So much fun.
I loved it. I've only done it one time, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it and would love to do that again.
Doesn't it feel like doesn't it feel like dramas? Like we're not playing to any audience or camera. It's just pure you versus me. We can go where we want, and they can make an adjustment if they have to. Like if we felt like in this scene, we wanted to be further apart because we're arguing, but later on they might bring us closer together, but like it's just motivated by pure instinct and emotion.
It is. And it's a very solitary thing.
Yeah.
As well, because you're delivering a performance that they then are going to go in and potentially manipulate in different ways, which is really cool to me. How have you seen games and the relationships with the characters, because they seem so real now, but also with the people that you're now able to reach and play with as a social mechanism for these games as well? How much has that changed? And do you think it's a good thing for the industry or complicated?
In terms of like the technology, I think it might have hit its ceiling. It felt like in our day, every couple of years they took this giant leap forward to reality and another giant leap forward. And I think in the last 10 years, as we're getting more and more photorealistic or trying to achieve that's slowed down. Like the jump between a PlayStation 4 and a 5 feels more like an iPhone 11 to 12.
Yeah.
As opposed to a Nokia 3310 to an iPhone. That's how it used to feel every few years when a new machine came out. So yeah, I mean, with that, I think what's interesting now is it looks like hyperrealism isn't something that everyone's trying to strive for. It's almost like they've got more artistic with it. It feels like they're like, we're actually like, especially in the indie game world, they're getting really creative with art direction, and it doesn't, just because lifelike doesn't equal good, you know?
Right.
So they're starting to experiment more, and you're starting to get a lot more different palettes and feel. And, you know, there's a game that's coming out soon. There was a game that came out a few years ago too called Cuphead, which the art style was basically ripped. It looks exactly like one of those old 1940s Felix the cartoon. Like, that's what they're like. I find that really exciting that they're making those kind of changes rather than just how many pores, how imperfections can we get onto their skin, like that, whatever.
That almost to me feels really scary. Like when you know, when you, I don't know, because we've stayed in a lot of rental properties in our lives. Yeah. Have you ever walked in, turned on the TV, and they had it on that weird setting where the
hyper smoothing?
They look like they're in the room with you, and you're why? I don't like this. I want a separation. I want my consciousness to know that is not my life.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want it to feel that real. It feels so crazy to me.
Have you done much VR? Have you done the virtual reality stuff?
No, I don't think.
That's interesting because there's like I don't do it a lot. My partner does a decent amount of VR. My family started doing it a lot more because it's quite accessible for every age. People kind of, it's easier to understand when you're inside it and you go, oh, this is a bow and arrow, and you pull it, right? That for me, those are the ones where I'm like, I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want, like, especially with horror games, I don't know if I need this in my life. I don't need that much immersion.
Right. Like that would give you sensory nightmares?
Yeah.
That
people feel sick as well. Like you feel like you're falling when you fall and stuff.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. I have no desire.
Yeah, I don't need it that much. So that's why I'm not a big kind of VR guy. And again, like with violence and horror, like when I was a kid, Mortal Kombat was the most violent thing you could play. Yeah. And, it's just, basic animations and sprite, whatever. But like, it didn't look, it looked cartoony. Now, I mean, how violent do you want to get? How realistic do you want it to look? And so that brings up that next question. It's just like, when we get, what does, the new Grand Theft Auto, obviously, how good is it going to look? And how much more fucked up is it to run over pedestrians with this technology versus that? And so there's all those arguments. So I don't know if realistic will always be great, but think video games were influencing children back during, Mortal 90s.
Kombat when blood would squirt out of their mouth and they would die on the ground.
Yeah.
Now it's, I don't know. I think that there is the removal of human life, the sort of that the lack of respect for life is a potential side effect of that. If you get so used to and so desensitized to people dying around you, how easy would it be to take a life? Right.
But again, I think it will go back to, because I'll always stand up for games. Like it poses really interesting questions about censorship and we were all playing games we shouldn't have been playing, but they didn't look like that. But again, it doesn't take much for me to be on social media and see someone really die or really get shot. So it's like, I think that still comes, I'm as much as video games and, we push boundaries in terms of like sex, like how music videos have changed and what people, how much you can push that bar and how far can video games go as we, progress. But I still think all of it is bullshit compared to what your phone can do and what you can access. Like, I still think that it will be the priority, because I would rather my kid blow up and decapitate people in Call of Duty than watch decapitations on TikTok by accident,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned the online stuff. I couldn't speak to that because I don't touch online. I'm pretty much offline with video games. Video games are an excuse for me to not socialize and to be in my own world, and multiplayer spits in the face of that. Like, I don't want to be on a microphone with other people chatting. So I'm almost completely off multiplayer. I won't. And if I do it, I don't have headphones. I don't talk. I play silently. So I don't really talk about I don't really get into the whole online of it or the benefits of it.
Yeah, that scares me. Like, I have nephews and my brother, and like they talk about, the multiplayer. And to me, I understand the social aspect and I understand that. But at the same time, and there are a lot of people that depend on that social aspect for their interactions with other people. So I do see the benefits of it in a lot of ways. But I also, the very thing that we were talking about with children, like, how do you protect children from predators when they can just log on and you have no idea who these people really are? And I don't know, it's the same with social media. Like, any of that thing, when somebody has access to your child, they can be influenced in any number of ways.
Sure. I mean, it's basically like, your house, your family, these are all doors. These are all exits that you have to make sure are locked before you go to bed. And the more devices and the more social aspects and things, and, those are just more doors that you and your partner have to make sure are locked,
It's like leaving the front door unlocked with neon signs saying, our front door's unlocked. Absolutely. We have a child sleeping downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it about Star Wars that made you want to be an actor?
I don't know. I mean, literally, like, it was this transportation. Like, I remember watching A New Hope, and, I felt like I was in the Millennium Falcon. I wasn't in my living room in London. It was just so otherworldly and so dreamlike, and I just longed to be in that world. I wish I had the Force. I wanted to be on space missions with Han Solo, and it was like, leave all your worries behind and all your angst for 2 hours and just be transported into this galaxy. And I took solace in it. Like, that was another safe space. It was video games and Star Wars. And Star Wars, I just longed so much to just leave our home and fly away. And it resonated with me. And again, it's all about timing, because I think I saw Star Wars as the special editions came out, the re-releases, and then within a couple of years, the prequels were on. So it kind of, and then once the prequels were done, we had the Clone Wars and all the other stuff. So I just was that product of that environment.
You didn't really have a downtime.
No, and the video games were like, the best Star Wars games were coming out around about my teenage years, and we were just getting like Jedi Outcast and Knights of the Old Republic, and then there was a real kind of golden age of LucasArts. And like I said, the Clone Wars was funny, because once the prequels were done, I think everyone kind of dispersed, and it was like, well, that's Star Wars. It's done. That's 6. And I remember the Clone Wars movie came out first, and it had a kind of like a lukewarm reception. And then those of us that watched the first season were like, hey, there's something going on here. This is cooking. And it felt like we talked about really at the beginning of our conversation, it felt like 5 of us were watching the Clone Wars and were going, oh, this is better than the prequels. You should be watching this. It's like it's like a firmware update. And then as it went on to season 2 and 3 and 4, it was like, yeah, it was just this golden era. And it didn't feel huge. Again, it had that allure because it wasn't hugely popular.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an oversaturation of the franchise either. It was kind of on the tail end. So I held on to that right up until I became an actor. I longed to be, my first kind of feeling towards it was, remember I said to you I wanted to be in video games?
Mm-hmm.
It then transitioned to I wanted to be in special effects. And my dream was to work with ILM.
Okay.
I was a pretty good artist and I was pretty, tech savvy. So as a high schooler, that was the dream. I wanted to work for ILM. I wanted to help make these types of movies. I was so interested in special effects and watching making of documentaries of, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, anything that had ILM in there. And then I went to like a film school, again, with that in mind. And I think I acted in my own project, short film that I had to do for school. And that I was like, oh, wait, that thing you're pretty good at. That feels good. You'll kind of feel a bit natural. And I dropped out of that, went to a drama school, got in, and that started my acting career. And then I was like, well, let me be in Star Wars instead of doing the special effects.
Were your parents super supportive?
Yes, to a degree. I pushed that. They were supportive. They've always been very supportive. I made it look difficult. I made it difficult for them to be supportive because, you say you want to do this thing that's very unconventional and they're out there. That's my son. You say you want to do this thing. That is scary. And that, no one in our family has gone down that road, acting from a small town in the UK. This is dumb. And I'd never shown any type of interest in being an actor before. And now I'm dropping out of college and I'm going for this thing. And then I'm lazy and I'm not following up on it and I'm kind of fucking around. So they were supportive, provided I looked like I was actually trying to pursue something. So there was always that, like, Jesus Christ, like, you're trying to crack into one of the hardest businesses in the world and you're not giving it 100%. And they were right. But yeah, so they were. But it took a long time because I didn't get my first real proper gig until I was 28. So I'm a bit of a late one.
Was that iZombie?
Yeah, iZombie.
Were you auditioning from the UK or had you moved to California?
No, all UK. Yeah, I was in. I was doing all of this stuff in the UK. Mainly commercial casting. I was doing commercials, background. I'd go up now and because I'm South Asian, my South Asianness, and so there's so few of us, meant that I could be an extra, but also audition for the lead of a Disney movie if they needed a South Asian, because there just wasn't enough of us. So I was in the running for that kind of stuff. So like, I had no right to be going up for roles that Riz Ahmed and Dev Patel were going up, but I was, And but it wasn't. I wasn't booking, and then I literally just got like an audition for iZombie pilot, Rob Thomas, Veronica Mars, for one of the lead roles. Went into an office, did a tape with them. They just put me on like 2 takes, sent it, booked it, and within a week my life changed. And then I kind of turned around cockily to my family, who had been terrified that I had ruined my life with this half-assed, attempt at becoming an actor. And I sort of shrugged and was like, see, told you, what were you worried about? So I did land it.
You thought it was going to be hard.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Honeylove. So I have got to tell you about Honeylove because I'm kind of obsessed. When I first tried them, I wasn't sure what to expect. So I've had a long history of trying new bras, but wearing the same old bras. Like seriously, I don't want to tell you how old my old bras were because I've had them forever because nothing really worked for me and made me feel comfortable not going back to them until I tried Honey Love. It completely surprised me. Their bras are not only comfortable, but they're actually supportive. And here's the great thing about it. They're supportive without wire, no matter your size. So I don't find myself yanking the bra back into place. I don't have like that weird bulge behind my back. The straps are super supportive. The bra is really sexy, which I'm going to be honest, my old bras were not. But that's what I love about this is that it has got the most support you could possibly imagine, but it is still incredibly sexy. One of the things that I love the most is that everything that they make is designed by women who actually wear them, which makes a huge difference. Their new Cloud Embrace bra, for example, sold out right away. And I get why. It's wireless, like I said, which I love. Treat yourself to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Save 20% off Honey Love at honeylove.com/Sackhoff. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/Sackhoff to find your perfect fit. After your purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras and shapewear with Honey Love. What was it like sort of growing up wanting to be in the entertainment industry and looking around sort of for people that looked like you?
I don't think I looked for people that look like me.
You didn't?
I think I looked at people I aspired to be. So, you know, one, I didn't have much of a choice. You know, it was what it was. I think the closest I looked at archetypes that I thought I could play. So I grew up loving Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up loving Ralph Macchio. But you know,
I love that you grew up loving Ralph Macchio.
He in our house is like A-list as A-list can be. We got to meet him when Cobra Kai came out, and like my family lost it more than any. But yeah. I think I loved, I started looking at sort of brown men in a way that was like, I want to be in like that guy. So there was like this slight resemblance, like in the sense like it's not a coincidence I ended up adoring and following Benicio del Toro or Javier Bardem. So there was still a little bit of that, but like I said, it was more archetyped. And again, like I looked at Idris, and Idris was more inspiring to me because I was like, look at the roles Idris is playing, look at what he's done, look at what he represents, look how he's celebrated, and look how people don't bat an eyelid when Idris is mentioned for Bond, and because he transcends race, he's Idris Elba. So instead of looking for his equivalent, in South Asians, I wanted to be his equivalent of South Asian. So I aspired to that, which I failed at. But the point is that that's what I would do. So
life is long.
Life is long. Obviously, look, I mean, I'm employed and I'm still on that journey. But yeah, I do get the importance of it. You know, I've seen kids lose their minds over finally seeing themselves represented. You know, I saw on social media and you know how people reacted to seeing Moana or seeing like, and how important these things were. Like, we did love Aladdin. Oh, we loved Aladdin, and that can't be a coincidence. That happens to be mine and my sister's favorite Disney film, even though we watched a lot of them. Why was that one it? Probably because we saw ourselves on screen-ish, a version of ourselves. So I get it's important, but because I never had it really, like I said, I just wanted to be the next Harrison Ford. I wanted to be that guy.
I wanted to be Bruce Willis.
Right. I thought you were going to say like Sarah Connor or Ripley or what. But,
no, look, I loved those women too, but I didn't find them first. I found him first.
Yeah.
And it was the roles that he took, the sci-fi, the action. Yeah. I loved that archetype.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved the everyman story because it felt similar. Felt like, oh yeah, and every man can do it, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas then you see Sarah Connor and Ripley, and of course I was like, well, all right, now I want to be them. But
and the amazing thing is you did, like, you did do that. Like, what you did with Starbuck is up there with that legacy of strong female characters. Starbuck.
I appreciate that. It's so funny because I feel so removed from it after so many years.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no one had any idea other than Eddie what we were creating at the time, because I feel like the pressure of that would have been too much. And I've never watched it because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm very hypercritical of myself. And the more I try to control my performances and the more I try to prepare like other people, the worse I get. And so I try to just be fluid. Like, what do you want me to do? Do you think it was good? Cool, let's move on.
So you don't go in a video village?
No.
No, me neither.
No. I dated a guy for a while who did. Every single take, he would go in and he would look, and I was like, wow,
what are you doing?
Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe this is what successful actors do. Like, so I started doing it and I was like, oh, this is fucking awful. Yeah. Why would I do this? Because now you're not playing the reality. You're not becoming the character. You're giving the smolder. You're finding your light so perfectly because you want to look like Brad Pitt. Yeah,
you're judging vanity. That's all you're doing. And I won't. I've had a few arguments with other actors about this because I believe I've said this on multiple times before, and I guess we're off the same school, right? There are 8 billion people on the planet, right? And I can guarantee you, Katee, same with me, there is 1 out of 8 billion that knows you're a shit actor and you're full of shit and this is an act, and it's you. You are literally, you might be the only person that isn't in your audience. You can't be. You never made this for you because you're full of shit. We know we're full of shit. We're like, And that, so what are you gauging by that? If so when I see someone go to Video Village and they watch and they go, what are you saying? That you felt it? You couldn't have felt it. How? You're so, there's no being objective. And I felt that it wasn't just about that insecurity of having to, you're going there and you're judging your take based on, did your face look slightly bloated, or did that angle work, or did this, or did you like the way that's what you're looking at. There's no way there's no way you're going, I cried when I saw myself do that monologue. Who does that? Of course you didn't. We're not Kanye West. We don't think, we don't feel our own work like that. So I don't do this Video Village thing. And I also think there's a real extra layer to it. I work with a lot of directors repeatedly. And I think that's because I make them feel that trust is there and I don't need to second get, like, I immediately am like, I don't ask for extra takes. That's a me thing. I completely surrender control, because control is, it's not real. It's an illusion. We don't have control. You could do your extra take. It's not going to make it. You could do you think you're doing the perfect reaction. The editor's going to pull one that they already saw. That might not even be from that particular moment. You have no control. So we're all wrestling for this like illusion. And I'm so done with it because I think it gets in the way of the purity of what we do. So I'm not the pilot of the plane. I am a passenger. So I don't know why I pretend to get in the cockpit. I've got nothing. If we go down, we go down. Mike is the pilot. So sit back and just let him take you there. Obviously, you got to be there and be ready to receive direction. But when Mike goes, I'm happy, I'm ready to move on, I have never said, can I get one more?
Yeah, no. We did a scene the other day for Carrie, which we're both in, which we haven't talked about at all, which we can't talk about. So everyone's like, I thought I was going to get fucking spoilers. And I did a scene, and it was with Sam.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there seeing through my fucking bullshit.
Right.
I am tearing myself apart. I am between takes, you're never going to fucking work again. You're so bad at this. I don't know how you've got a 30-year career. How the fuck are you here right now? Like, there's, like all of this shit's going through my head. And, I do like, Mike has me do like 5 takes. And he finally comes over and he goes, I got it. Do you want to do one more? And I was like, do you have it? And he was like, yeah, I have it. He's like, I mean, maybe we could do one. Like, I was like, was the last one a little too crazy? And he went, it was a little crazy. And I was like, okay, let me try and give you one more that's not a little crazy. And then he came over and he goes, I have it. And I was like, yeah. Okay, cool. And just went, awesome. Glad you have it. And then and never would ask for another one like you, because I hate asking for another one. I never do it. But I walked away and I went, you're going to get fired. He's never going to work with you again. You were going to be that one fucking actor that comes in. You worked with him in the beginning 13 years ago. Of course, he hasn't hired you since. And now you're finally back and you're never going to come back again. Make the most of it, Sackhoff, because it's going to be over soon.
Yeah.
Like, this is literally what's going through my head.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, it's crazy because Sam's thinking that about herself. I know Sam is. And I'm doing it, and Kate Siegel's doing it, and we're all doing it. Kate's married to Mike, and I know Kate's like, oh, I'm never gonna, I know the amount of people I need to be like that have to reassure me that Mike likes me. It doesn't matter though. I've worked 7 times with Mike back to back. That Mike is constantly sending me some projects or scripts, and he's like, I want you to do this, or I'm thinking of you for this. Every time I'm on set, even my day on when I was up in Vancouver for Carrie, I went, yeah, I don't think he's fond of me, to be honest. I don't think he yeah, I don't know why he's bothered, because I haven't really done a character here. Yeah. And I've let him down. And I can see it, because he didn't even come over after we wrapped. Yeah. I'm doing that. And it's just like, because we're actors and we're just fucking insecure.
Me too. And in my mind, I'm like, Sam, God, he only had Sam do 2 takes. Fuck, she's brilliant. God, that was an amazing scene. Why did I have to do 5? Because you're fucking awful, Katee. That's why you needed 5, because you're so bad you couldn't find the character. And here's Sam. Of course she has the character. She only had to do 2. Like,
it's so funny you had that dialogue to yourself while you're working with Sam, because I had that during Mass with Midnight Mass, which was my first role with Sam.
Yeah.
I always felt like that character for me was like an ill-fitting costume. Mike wanted me for it, but I was like 33, 34 at the time, playing a 41, 42-year-old who's Muslim. I'm not Muslim. Speaks Arabic, does Arabic prayer. I don't know how to do that. I'm not American. So there was like all of these things where you're like, you are not old enough to have a 19-year-old kid who, I think, Rahul, the guy who played my son, Rahul, was 22 at the time, playing 15, 16, but it just felt wrong. I was like, I'm 33 and I couldn't get out of this. I'm 33. I'm too young to. So I'm going through all of that. You're full of shit. You're letting down not only yourself and Mike, the entire Islamic community. So I had that on my shoulders too.
Because why stop at them?
Why not, right?
Letting down all of the deities, all of them. Allah, Jesus, everyone. God. Yeah.
Every brown person everywhere is being let down. And Americans with your shitty American accent. And I'm doing that for 6 months in a bubble because of COVID. And most of my scenes are against Sam Sloyan, who's doing like generational work. If I'm 6'4", but every day I was on set, I felt about 5'2", and I felt like Sam was about 9 foot. And I loved it because I was like, again, you just surrender control. Mike's got me. If Mike said he got me, he got me. If Mike said the take was good, it's good. That's his job. This is my job. And I'm not going to tell him what his job is.
Yeah.
And with Sam, when you're in scenes with someone like Sam, you're like, okay, at least one of us knows how to drive right now. Like, so at least the scene's going to be good. And as long as I don't really screw up, she might carry me through this particular scene. And when I finally did see it, and I didn't want to see it, but Mike made me watch it, there was a sense of relief. And he was like, you didn't break the show, you dickhead. Like, how arrogant do you think you are that you're going to break the show? You didn't.
But that's what we feel, right? I mean, that's
100%.
literally what we feel about everything.
The funniest part about all of that was when we did those screenings, Mike showed me Mass. I was number 4. I think Kate had seen it, Sam had seen it, and Hamish, who played Father Paul, had seen it. And I went, fucking hell, all right, cool. I made it. I didn't break your show. And he was like, every single one of you said that after watching the show. Sam said it, Hamish said it, Kate said it. Everyone was worried that they had broken the show. Yeah. And I was like, and once I realized it's really freeing. We're messy, we're insecure, we need constant validation. When he yells cut, if he doesn't come up to us, we go, it's fine. That means we did our job. If he does come up to us with a compliment, you could go, oh, he must have really liked it and felt that he had to tell me. Or maybe, no, hold on. Mike came over to tell me he liked it because he thinks I'm running out of gas and I'm beating myself up and he can see it. So maybe a little bit of love might help me get we will do whatever the hell we want. Yeah. And we're all out of insecurity. And it's just, and the thing was, instead of like spending a lot of time beating myself up about it, I kind of revel in it now. And as soon as once I knew that me and Siegel were doing that and Sam's still doing it, and, and then we've worked with legends, right? And they're doing it. It almost became like a badge of honor. It's like, oh yeah, we're all messed up, insecure. We're all insecure. That's what actors are. Yeah, and maybe that's our juice. And maybe stop fighting it, be messy. Just as long as it doesn't spoil the relationship between you and your director. Yeah. And we've both, I'm sure, seen it where insecurity stops being about beating yourself up and beating up crew. Oh God, no. Oh, when it's Jesus. That, there's no excuse for that. And I've seen some legends do that. And it's disgusting. Aside from that, when it's just beating me up, I'm like, I'm fine. I don't need therapy. I'm not gonna correct it. That's just part of our job. Yeah. I have this weird thing, and it is not a statement on anyone else. It is just something that I have learned over the years, that I won't go to the front of the catering line. I can't do it. Yeah. It's something in me because I saw one old timer, amazing, just like phenomenal actor, when they were like, we're going to get you to the front of the line. And he went, these people work harder than I do. Yeah. I'll be fine because you guys take care of me all day. Who takes care of them? And I was like, oh, fuck. And I never did it again. And it makes people uncomfortable because they're like, it does. Because the PA is like, oh God, but it's my job to make you do that. And like, I've done that too. And they're standing there going, well, and you've now left them in the middle. Yeah. And you're doing this almost like, it's so dumb. It feels like we're doing this huge civil rights thing. Like, we will not go to the back of the bus, and it's just like this thing where we stand there, with all our privilege, and we're in costume and we're in the line. We're like, no, we're with you. While the PAs are like, no, honestly, we need to get you out of here because you also have to have after lunch touches. And we're like, no. And I get the sentiment because I literally did that my first day on Carrie. Yeah. And poor Sherry was stuck doing and then watching like all the rest of the cast jump, I was like, and I remember someone on iZombie told me this, which was I was making them look bad. And it was a really interesting thing because one of my co-stars was like, I don't have time. Yeah. Because we've got a fitting and this, and I can't wait. And then when you go, no, I now look bad, but it's my job. And so I got stuck with like, what do I do? Is this show, like, because I am technically going, I don't need to skip the line. It's the same thing with, breakfast. Yeah. That same thing happened on my first show on iZombie. Every morning, our AD would be like, our Tad would be like, hey, can I get you breakfast? No, come on. I'll get my own breakfast. You put your feet up. I'm privileged. And then it took a few months. And I remember one of my co-stars being like, every time I say yes, she gets annoyed because you don't. Why do you do it? And why can't he? And he was like, you're breaking it. We're supposed, like, he goes, we eat our breakfast in our makeup trailers because we're in the works. And he goes, I get that you're trying to be nice, but you're also making us look bad. So I kind of got stuck with this like dilemma.
Yeah, no, look, I completely get it.
Yeah.
I do. It's strange. And I always say to him, am I up right after lunch? And if they say no, then I'm like, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Then I'm good. And I usually stand there and I'll talk to the crew, and because Carrie's a different beast as well. Like there are days where there was like a day the line was like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. It was a long line.
Yeah. It's a big team.
And that day I was like, should have fucking cut.
The thing is, it's the sentiment. And I think the actor that said that to you, I think the sentiment is absolutely correct, because that's how we should feel. And it is, we are a team. And like, we should, I think when we start to believe our own hype and stuff, we expect, but like, even if we do have someone jump us to the top, I don't know. There's an energy between part of the system. You know why? You know that we have less lunchtime. You know that we're going to get knocked 15 minutes early because of after lunch touches, depending on what we're doing. Yeah. Get remiked. You know it's all happening.
Of course. But I also think that it's up to me to sort of assess that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, there's a time and a place.
I think so too. Because it is a little strange. Like, and I also like feel really strange when I cut in front and I'm like not one of the leads of the show.
Yeah, that's the other one.
You know, when I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm
like
good
when you're guesting, when you're doing a guest spot and you fucking cut the line. No. Yeah, I remember someone saying like, it was Hamish Linklater. And this is bad because I'd been working for enough time by then. But I heard Hamish telling one of the young'uns on Midnight Mass, what do you put your clothes back on the hanger and in the wardrobe? And I remember in my brain hearing that going and replying, because I wasn't either. And I'm like, way older than the kids. And I was like, but I watched them tear them down and carry it out in a bundle, because they're going straight into the wash. Mm-hmm. And he was like, it's a sign of respect. It doesn't matter. And so he was talking to a kid, and I was like, oh shit. Because I'm stripping off, the fucking socks are flying off, whatever. I might grab it all and just put it in like a stupid heap on the couch thing. And since I heard him tell that kid in the green room that time, every now it is, I fold the trousers, I put them on the little hooks, I put it there, I take each sock and I do it, I neatly set it and I leave. Yeah. Because it's because, we do the same thing. Yeah, you have to. It's just a sign of respect. And
we do the same thing. Yeah. When you started working with Mike, was there sort of an understanding at that point that he liked to use the same people? Because he'd done so a couple times at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't know what the kind of setup was. I wasn't aware of the troupe. I knew that some of the cast of Hill House were coming back, but that was their second gig. So like for Victoria and Ollie, they had only done Hill House with him, and then they were coming back for part 2. Carla was number 3 at that time, I think. Henry Thomas was number 4. He had done the most, I think, and Kate maybe.
What about Truco?
No, Truco had only done
Hush.
And then Truco's second one was Mass.
Midnight Mass. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Truco, And so yeah, I think it really became cemented with the Netflix era for Mike. As opposed to like, because it's like most directors do use the same couple of people, But when it becomes this like staple troop thing, that I think became from the Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Usher, and the family started repeating. And I think that became, so it evolved into that, as opposed to like maybe Carla and Henry having done 3 or 4 and Sam having done 2 or 3. So I didn't go in with any like, must impress this man, he might employ me again. Which is good, because I think it takes the air of desperation off you. That stink, because you know, there are some people that have that, right? You know, oh, I'm working with Mike, I don't want to fuck this up, because, you know, doesn't, just because you, even if you're brilliant, it's not about that. It's more like, do you fit the next one? And it's kind of a crapshoot. So I was fortunate. I happened to be playing Owen in Bly Manor, and I obviously being South Asian, his next role, he happened to be looking for a brown sheriff. You know, if he wasn't making Mass next, I wouldn't have been on Mass. I might not have been in the next one. Like, it just so happened, because I think I was the only one of Bly Manor who came back on Midnight Mass. No one else did. Yeah, no one else was plucked. But that was because the roles weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just happened to get lucky.
It was interesting talking to Kate Siegel about it as well, because I said, you know, how does that process work? And she was like, it's the same as everybody else. You know, it's, you know, he'll, and I'm paraphrasing right now, but, you know, he'll write a script and, you know, once he's sort of getting into it, he'll, you know, in his mind go, yeah, I think that, yeah. And then I'll slide it and say, hey, take a look at this character. Like, he's not writing characters for people. It doesn't seem like, or at least that was the impression I got. I don't know. I haven't asked him about it, to be honest.
He has, he did with Usher. Usher was written. I knew that Usher was written. My character, Leo, was written for me, with me in mind, as was, I think, because he knew one of Mike's, so while we were doing Mass, I remember Mike, we were having dinner, like a family dinner. Yeah. And Mike was like, I'm going to tell you about the new project. I'm doing an Edgar Allan Poe adaptation, and I'm not really familiar with Poe, but he was like, I'm going to do this. And he goes, and what I want to do, because I've been doing the family dynamic, you know, Hill House, it gives I'm tied to one ethnicity. He was like, but I'm going to have Roderick Usher fly around the world and date multiple people, so I can bring in, so I don't have to be married to just one white family. I want to have you all there, front and center. So he'd written Leo with me in mind. He had written Victorine with Tania in mind. He wanted to bring Tania back, who he couldn't do Mass with, did Bly Manor with. So he took a couple of leapfrog. Anyway, so I know he wrote that in mind. And then I've seen him do this thing for me, which I have read scripts and read the character description and seeing that it's described as a 6-foot+ South Asian guy. And I know why he does that. And I think he does that because he makes sure that at the beginning there isn't debate. We know this is what I'm looking for. So it's expressly said. Otherwise I could just end up being some, whatever. So I think he'll make an adjustment like that. To make sure we have the best chance, maybe, if he has his mind. But you're right. I mean, the thing with Mike too is like he does a lot of adaptations. So I think it's hard to write in mind with an adaptation. Like Carrie, Carrie is an adaptation. So did you read it? Did I read Carrie?
The book?
No. I watched the film. I am, for work, about 9 to 10 books behind projects, which is so bad. I always feel so like, it's like there are actual books I'm supposed to read if I wish to honor the character or the author, and I don't. And I'm like, and then you're sitting next to your co-star who, or you might even be sitting next to someone who has 3 lines in the adaptation, and you're one of the leads, and they're like, no, I read all of the books of the entire series. And he doesn't even know who the author is. Yeah. I'm that guy. So I'd like totally to read, but I'm so behind. Yeah. I wish I could do the audiobooks. I really do. Do you just drift? I just drift.
I drift.
Like, yeah. I'm missing
drift.
chapters.
Yeah, I drift. And it's soccer season, right? I called it soccer just for fun.
No, I'm all right with it. I've lived here long enough. I don't get all English about. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like I watch the English Premier League. It's my biggest passion. That starts next week pretty much. And I'm so excited.
Do you watch Formula One?
I watched Drive to Survive. My sister got me into it. Yeah.
Yes,
but
okay.
I went to I went to the first Formula One in Vegas. I went to that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a trip.
Oh wait, your partner's a massive Formula One fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you were talking to Alana about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Alana and I spoke about it. That's right.
Yeah. So she got really into it. And Alana's like, she's so good at what she does. When she expressed interest in Formula One and things like that, like they're like, wait, can we send you to like Singapore? And so she gets those kind of deals. And on my birthday, she just booked she managed to get a hotel for the Formula One Vegas.
Yeah. And
then did a deal with like, I don't know, EA or one of the big companies. Mm-hmm. And said, I'll do your coverage or I'll do some whatever. Yeah. And got us like paddock pass. We were with Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like we had no right to be. I was only in iZombie, but we're sitting next to Sofia Vergara and Rihanna was over there and it was wild. And we watched the first Vegas race and I was like, I definitely was romanticized, but I definitely, yeah, I would like to follow along more.
It's amazing. We went to Vegas last year. We're going again this year. F1 doesn't give two shits about me. They literally, although I did say to Mike, I was like, cause we're on Amazon and Amazon's a huge sponsor of Formula One. Maybe they're going to want us to do press for Carrie in Monaco.
Oh. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're onto something there. That's definitely going to happen. Yeah.
He was like, I'll talk to him. Like
it will just be more than likely a Zoom with Screen Rant.
Of course it will.
It doesn't matter what. Yeah, of course it is.
No, in Monaco.
You want to be in Monaco during the Formula One?
Yes, sir.
Even if it doesn't time out with the show's release?
Yeah, still.
Oh, it doesn't matter? Cool.
No, it doesn't matter.
Let's make it happen. Let's put pressure on it.
Okay, let's make it happen.
I'm only a guest star and I'll make sure that.
I'm only a guest star too.
Oh, really? I thought you were.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. Recurring?
Recurring.
We're recurring. We're not guests.
Yes, we're recurring.
Recurring. Big difference.
There's a very big difference. There's a very big difference. And we can't give too much away.
No. But I think they knew that, right? Because they only do series. They did a series regular announcement.
And then they did the announcement with us.
Me, Truco, Kate, Siegel as the recurring.
Yes.
I was when you came to set, they never turned around on me at all. I think Alana said I was never on camera the whole few hours you guys were there, right?
But this is what Truco said. Truco said that
I love Truco.
It doesn't matter what performance you give, and this is the thing that you were talking about. You give the best performance you can that's right for the character, and you trust Mike explicitly.
Yeah. Because
you may end up in that scene, and the camera may never go on you. Maybe a push-in on Sam the entire time.
Yeah.
So don't worry about what you look like. Don't worry. This is what he just was like, just do you. Just do you. And don't worry about anything. And I was like, yeah.
Well, he's also
Starbuck the shit out of this and just like.
But he's also the thing that Mike is. It's also like their background, right? Because Mike is at his core an editor.
Yes,
that is how he came up, right? That we are as prolific a writer as he is, and showrunner and director, and film savant. At his core foundations, that man is an editor with an editor's brain.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things about working with him, which is freeing, is he's seeing the cut, and he only started to work with Brett Buckman, who started editing with Mike on Usher.
Yeah.
That's prior to that, Mike was cutting himself, right? If he was doing it. So Mike still sees the cut. And with Carrie, he sees the cut. So I know, and I've heard him say it too. Like I remember there was a scene where, I can't give too much away because this isn't Carrie, but it will hurt someone's feelings. But they weren't keeping up in the scene. And Mike came over to me. It was very painfully obvious during the scene that this wasn't working. And and that Mike wanted me to be aware that I know the cut. You're good. This scene is going to be great. I know where to cut. I know I can piece together this and make it work. And I was like, sure, whatever. And then when I saw it, he was absolutely spot on. He had seen the looks he needed that we weren't necessarily getting at the right time, but he knew and he did it and he stitched it and it was great.
He said sometimes he will actually turn the camera on before we're even rolling because he will get looks of us just talking to someone else.
Do you know what I say before? Oh my God, good to know.
Just the looks, not the, or maybe it's like
just
he'll let
relaxed,
it go.
Just that
he'll
relaxed.
let it, the relaxed. Maybe it's that he will let it go. But he said sometimes I will use looks and facial expressions and posture and things when you're not in character. Because it'll help me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I need this. Oh, she did that when the camera was still rolling over here and blah, 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 blah. Because
I love that.
It's awesome.
Thing is,
me too.
Like, it's someone, again, someone might not like that, but it's kind of like, how do you, it's about the way you frame it. He is making sure, and filmmakers like him, that they get the best out of us.
Yeah.
They want us to look good on screen. And if that means, hey, you gave a better look when we between the take. Yeah. Cool. What do we care? As long as it serves the story and it was and we don't look terrible.
And you're going to win an Oscar.
And you're going to win, go for it.
And it's going to look purposeful. Yeah. I end with a question on a card. Oh, and I haven't done it for the last 3 interviews. And somebody called me out and they're like, why are you not doing your questions anymore? And I was like, well, because I didn't think you guys liked it. And now I come to find out.
What are these cards?
Well, they used to be sex questions.
Oh.
And then I stopped doing
missionary.
I was worried.
Lights,
sometimes.
Fully dressed.
Yeah.
Lights off.
Yeah.
No talking. Star Wars soundtrack. That's it. Okay. I already answered the sex one. Okay,
you did.
What is it?
There you go. What overused word are you tired of hearing?
What overused word? Oh no. What do I hate and I'm tired of hearing?
Is there anything that young generations say that you're like, oh?
I mean, I'm not, I don't think it's wrong. They have every right to call me it. It's just how it feels when they call me it. And it's unk. They're calling me unk. And it's not them. It's nice. It's polite. It's said with a little bit of sass. I get it. But being called unk, and I was like, that happened quick. I still feel like I'm 23 and now I'm unk. Quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one definitely.
It's okay. I was called bro the other day.
Oh.
By one of our cast members. And I was like,
fucking Michael Trucco.
Michael.
The funny thing with that is I know how we become Karens and Kevins.
Yeah.
There's something that's now happening to me, and I go, oh, I'm older than the manager when something's gone wrong or I want a return.
Yeah.
And my energy's different because a kid's going, no, sir, you can't. And I'm going, listen.
Fuck you.
Listen, young man. I did it. And I was like, so that's starting to happen. Like the bouncers of the clubs are younger than me.
Yes.
And
so you immediately have an attitude because you are like, if you tell me I am old one more time, I am going to cut you in the children's department of North.
Yeah. I can see it's the age thing. It's being told by a kid going, no, you wore it. we're not returning it. Oh, yeah.
It is. We could literally talk for another 5 hours, but we need to save stuff for when Carrie actually comes out. And I didn't
when
really...
we're on set.
We could do that.
Yeah,
we could also just have a normal conversation like normal people. People are gonna. This is what people like about the show, though. They're gonna be like, yeah, that was like a coffee conversation with Katee and Rahul.
Absolutely.
It was great. Hey everyone, welcome to Hindsight. Thank you so much for sticking around with us. We're at least 25 now. I'm so loving that episode. Hey Jeff, how are you?
I'm good. I think it's more than 25, right?
I'm pretty sure it's at least 27.
Yeah, I was going to say closer to 30 for sure.
I mean, for sure, we're closer to 30. Jeff, you and I got home really late last night from... I don't remember where we were. Where were we? Dallas.
We were in Dallas doing...
Can I just say...
Mm-hmm. You're allowed to. It is your podcast.
Thank you. I will never fly through that airport ever again.
Did you see the article I sent you?
I did. As we were both sitting on the tarmac, hours delayed.
In
Jeff
separate
sends
planes.
me in separate planes. Jeff sends me that Dallas was voted the worst American airport in all of the United States.
At some point, at least.
For the month of May.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was like, yep.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we had a great time at the at Rebel Scum Con. It was really fun. Can't wait for everybody to see that. Patreon plug here. If you want to see the live show, we do record these and we give them out to our Patreon members. So
we do.
Sign up for Patreon and you can watch it.
We do.
But it was a blast. We
are trying to figure out a way to potentially put this one out later after the Patreon has had ample time to watch it, because it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's like really funny. So I feel like maybe this one might just be an early release or something like that, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I saw some clips people were posting online of it. So
it's true. And I thought to myself, Jeff, we should really make people not record these because it's for the patrons. And then I thought to myself, or is it just good publicity?
It's good publicity. I think my line for it is... And I meant to say something about this at the live recording, but as you know, when I go up on stage, I completely blank out and don't know what I was supposed to be doing.
You turn into Cousin It.
I don't follow the reference. I just, is that what you mean? Cousin It, I love Cousin It, though. I'll take
FYI, for somebody who spends their life on radio, put the microphone in front of your face when you're on stage. Everyone was like, I can't hear Jeff.
What do I do? Do I just like drop it down?
You talk like this and you talk all the way, and the microphone's like all the way down here.
Like I said,
tip it up and get it in your face,
I know.
buddy.
I've been yelled about that before too. But anyway, my point is.
So the point is.
Well, I was gonna say, I think it's great if people film and take clips and post it. I think that's all great publicity. You'll see sometimes at these conventions, people just plant a camera in the back and they record the entire thing and then they put it out. That not really super into.
No.
Yeah.
It's stealing.
Yeah. I think if you feel like that's something that you want to do, I would say don't. You know, I mean, I don't know how encouraged or discouraged it is at other panels or anything.
I don't know. I would kind of say don't at all times. Dave Chappelle makes you lock your phones in a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's overkill. So does the Portland school system.
We got to be better than that. We got to be better than school children at these events.
We do. All right. We need to keep this hindsight on track.
Yes.
Because we only have 45 more minutes, but I do want to tell you that a person almost died on my plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has anyone ever died on a plane with you, Jeff?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I've already been on one plane in my life where somebody died.
You fly way more than I do, though. So I think the odds are greater.
The odds are in your favor. So a gentleman was legitimately potentially having a heart attack. And so they had like the defibrillators out. They were like ready to go. They were like, is there a doctor on board? The psychologist in business class decided that she would ring her call button as if like that's going to help.
Right.
And I feel like the flight attendant was like, no, we need a doctor.
Yeah, you have to tell that story properly though. So you told me, but tell the fans about the psychologist.
Oh, how she was crazy?
Well, just the scenario. There's a man having a medical scenario.
There's a man having a medical emergency. This woman is already driving people nuts on the plane because she has gotten up. She's at she's in the front of the plane at the window. She's there's a football player asleep next to her. So like she has to climb over him to go to the bathroom. And we're 45 minutes into this flight and she has gotten up at this point at least 10 times to go to the bathroom. I mean, like at least 10 times to go to the bathroom. And not only that, she's in her bare feet. And then she's putting her bare feet up on that wall. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate people like this. I just like, it's like every fiber of my being like hates people like this. And then she was also just like really rude. Like we got on the plane and like the football player like was trying to like, he put his bag up and she goes, excuse me, I was putting my bag there. And she goes, because I'm sitting here. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. So he moved his bags and he goes, I'm sitting here too. I was like, well played, sir. Well played. So she was already that person, you know what I mean? And then like this little kid tried to pass her. And she's still like trying to put her bag up because she's taking so long. This woman is taking so long to do everything, right? And like, guys, she's not 80. She's probably 62. And she's taking so long to do everything, which is probably why she's peeing so much. She's probably like deep in menopause. But anyway, my point, she's taking forever to do this shit. And this little kid was like already like, he had passed her, but his bag had not. So he's like stuck and doesn't quite know what to do. And she literally turns around to this like 5-year-old kid and goes, excuse me. And I was like, can I kill her for you?
So this woman's already a problem.
Already a problem.
And now we have a medical emergency happening.
Now we're 45 minutes into the flight. And I know that because I looked down and I went, we're still 2 hours away from Portland. So we're an hour and a half into the flight, excuse me. And the call light button goes off. But sorry, there was an hour of turbulence out of Dallas, so they couldn't serve anything. So it really felt like we had just taken off because it's 10 o'clock. I haven't eaten all day. Yeah. And I'm like, can you have a heart attack after dinner? I'm fucking starving. So anyway, so then the flight attendant says, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a medical emergency on board the plane. We need a doctor. If you are a doctor, can you please ring your call light? Ding.
Yeah.
It's the lady in the front. And I'm like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah.
And I hear the flight attendant go, no, ma'am, we don't need a psychologist. It's a medical emergency. And what I wanted to say is, how many times on a plane have you been like, excuse me, is there a doctor on board? It is an emergency. This married couple is ready to fucking kill themselves and they really need a session.
Yeah.
Like, really? Well, you're not even a psychiatrist. You're a psychologist.
Right. So
sorry, no
is
offense,
that even,
guys.
That's not even a PhD, is it?
Well, I don't know what it's. Look, it's more school than I've had. I literally in my mind started laughing because in my mind, the way that it played out was she rang her thing and went, they went, are you a doctor? Yes, I'm a dentist. That's how it played out in my head.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, this fucking woman. She proceeds to go to the bathroom like another fucking 8 million times on the plane. The guy's fine. We ended up fine. There ended up being a real doctor.
Yeah.
In the plane who comes forward. They've got everything on the plane. They've got the paddles. They've got shit that they need to do, but they're also on the flight, the phone with the pilot, giving his vitals. Once a real doctor was there, because what they're doing is they're determining whether or not they have to emergency land. And ultimately, we did not emergency land, but he sat in the jump seat for the entire flight with oxygen on whilst everyone else ate their dinner.
Just right in your eye line too, right?
He was right in my eye line. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm drinking some wine. I'm getting through this. So then we're ready to get off the plane. A football player dude gets off the plane. Well, the medical emergency gets taken off the plane first, right?
Sure.
As soon as we land. Football player gets off the plane. 2 people in front of me. I'm in row 2. The woman next to me and I are just fucking dying laughing. Like the entire flight. We're like, are we in hell? Like what happened? I feel like we're in planes, trains, and automobiles at this point. And so then the lady who does nothing fast decides to get up. Jeff, a 95-year-old dead person would move faster than this woman. We are 3 hours late at this point.
And everybody's waiting.
It is 11 o'clock. We have babies on this plane. We have people having heart attacks on this plane. People want the fuck off this plane.
And she's like, not to out where you're sitting, but she's like at the very front of the plane.
She's at the very front of the plane. She's Jeff.
Yeah.
I timed how long it took her. I looked at my phone.
Was it one of the, did you have one of the airplanes that had was it an international plane with the 2 aisles or was it a single aisle?
It's a single aisle.
Oh,
she's blocking the entire plane.
Yeah.
And she's taking her time.
Yeah.
To put her shoes on in the aisle.
Oh my God, I want to kill her now.
To put her jacket on in the aisle. It's fucking 90 degrees. You got to put your jacket on? Cool.
Oh my God.
She's putting her book away. She's taking her ear pods out. Everyone in the middle of the aisle, not even like over in her seat area, in the middle, waiting for people we're standing there. And the woman and I, across the aisle, she and I literally were like, oh my God. And the woman next to me was like, I got all night. I don't know about you.
It's a doctor of shade right there.
And then the woman next to me was like, I think that she was actually going to the bathroom, like self-medicating. I think she was actually doing drugs. And I was like, what kind of fucking drugs does a 62-year-old do? Like, is she like sniffing progesterone? Like, I don't.
Well, what kind of, I mean, she can't write prescriptions. So.
I mean, you can't do anything other than just like, you're like a life coach, basically.
No, we love our psychologists out there.
We're just giving shit.
We love all the psychologists out there.
Of course we do.
Except for this one.
Except for this one. Anyway, so that was my story. So I got home at like 12:30 in bed by 1 and then woke up at 5 with my kid. So we may not even talk about Rahul in this hindsight.
Yeah, we're both exhausted. My flight was just also a lot of sitting around, but I watched Mickey 17 on the flight. Really enjoyed it.
So remember I watched that movie because they were going to have one of their actors on the podcast and then they didn't.
Didn't you go see it?
They had me go to a private screening of it here in Portland.
Yeah.
With like legitimate like news people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, cool. Loved the movie. Would love to talk to, no one.
Do you think you showed up and like the legitimate press was like, what is Katee Sackhoff doing here?
100% because one of them asked me why I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, she's not in the movie. We just watched it. They're like watching it the whole time, waiting for you to show up.
Waiting for me to pop up. I mean, it does make sense. It's sci-fi.
I mean, it would be a movie that you would work really well in. Mm-hmm. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
I thought it was a great fucking movie, right?
It was perfect airplane length too.
Yeah.
Like by the time we were finally up in the air, I started it.
Yeah, the Return of the King was a perfect length for my flight.
The extended edition, right?
Extended Peter Jackson cut.
Which we were just talking about on the Patreon, by the way. I was just chatting with one of our patrons about, we can talk about that in the Patreon section.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the Patreon. I think we should briefly touch on just Rahul and then move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one, he is certainly in the Flanagan troupe of actors, as you guys talked about in there a little bit, which you are too. This being, I think, Carrie being the confirmation now that you are part of that troupe.
For sure. For sure, Z's.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know one of the things that I feel bad about?
Just one, please.
Yeah, just one thing. I feel like I'm an asshole.
Why?
Because
is it because you talk shit about that woman so much?
No, that just makes me cool. No, about the lunch line thing. So I always...
Oh, right. Yeah, that was a whole thing.
I hate cutting in front of the crew to eat my lunch, especially when I have an hour and I've not necessarily been used. I've always been under the impression, and I've done this for many years, because since Battlestar, like I think it started like right after Battlestar, but like I just don't feel like it's right. But now I hear it from his perspective, and I feel like maybe I'm an asshole. Like I'm shaming other actors, kind of, maybe.
It falls into this interesting space, though, that I think is hard to navigate, which you guys talked about a little bit, but it's hard to navigate, like, your position on the set, because actors are treated in this privileged way. And I think, you know, this story brought out a little bit of why that is, because it's not, I mean, a little bit of it is appeasing egos, a little bit of it is that, but another part of it is also just functionally, you know, you have a lot that you need to do, so you got to get this thing, we got to feed you so we can get you to wardrobe or wherever.
Actors
are
usually the first ones called back, so they can go through the works and get their faces touched up and whatever they need to do. So I do understand that. And
there's also a thing where, like, we want to get you, like, having been on the other side of this, well, I've never been on the acting side of it, but I've been on the crew side many times. It's like there is work that needs to be done on the set, and often we don't want an actor there just for, like, safety reasons, you know, and like and also just generally, like, the crew, there's a different vibe on a set when the actors are on set versus when the actors are off set, and people move, people get things done a little bit more. And then when the actor comes in, the vibe changes. And also that's also for the actor too, because you're trying to inhabit a character, and we don't want you like having like banging and hammering happening right next to you.
No, it's like go time. Like when an actor shows up, it's go time. Everyone else should have done their job, set it up. And now it's the actor's job to hit the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't. I did allow, after having that conversation the other day, I did go to the front of the line.
Yeah.
Felt so fucking terrible.
But I think everybody working.
I did it. And you want to know why I did it? Because we only had a 30-minute lunch. And I was going to go back to my trailer so I could have some downtime and FaceTime my kids.
Yeah.
And I knew that by the time I got my food, drove the 5 minutes back, and the 5 minutes back, that I was going to have 10 minutes in my trailer.
Yeah.
So I did go in front. But I went through I went through all the checks in my head first to go, is this cool? Can I justify it? Okay.
Yeah.
But like now I feel like I need to apologize to every actor.
Do they give you, do you have your own assistant or PA on the shoot? You don't have a dedicated one?
No. Not for this one.
Because I know
I did for Another Life.
Sometime, well, yeah, when you were the number one on that.
I did I could have for Mandalorian too. They didn't give me a purposeful one. Yeah. But they, at any point, there was someone on Mandalorian who could help me run lines or go get me whatever I needed. So it was like I had one.
Sometimes the workaround there is you send a PA to pick up your lunch for you. You head straight to your trailer. They deliver it to you. And then you don't do that.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's what maybe I'll start doing, because now I've put myself in this sticky situation where like I don't want to feel like.
Now, when you went to the front of the line, were you literally elbowing people out of the way?
I did. I drop kicked someone.
You really leaned in. You like screamed at them.
I did. But I'm making up for like 15 years.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I'm thinking I was being so kind, but realizing I'm a dick. I did hear about
that. Yeah, when you were yelling at someone saying, "Look at me. Do you recognize me?"
Do you know who I am? Yes, Katee, I'm on the fucking job. Okay, cool. I just wanted to say it. And the other thing that he talked about was, and I actually listened, I absorbed this as well, which when Mike says he has it, he has it.
Yeah.
But then the other night on my night shoot, we did 2 takes of something. He goes, I have it. And I was like, but if I could give it to you this way, would you want it? And he went, well, yeah. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe we should go for it. And he said, I'm going to tell you what Tom Hiddleston says, which is, we've come all this way.
Yeah. That's like, true.
What's one more?
I mean, that's so true. Like, that's so true.
We've come all this way. Why not one more? And so he said that. And I was like, okay, cool. So then we couldn't get it right for like 5 takes. And now it's a joke because I was like, well, we've come all this way.
Yeah.
And then we finally got it and it was fucking great. But
I think the variation on that I've said before is just like, I mean, we're all here.
I mean, we're all here and it's lit. Might as well go one more.
Yeah.
But it was purely just an action thing, a timing thing. This was not about acting. It was a timing thing.
Yeah.
You know, so much about horror and what Mike does so well are scares. It's timing, cut beats, things like that, right? He knows because he's an editor. He's fucking phenomenal at this. He knows the moment he has it, which is what Rahul is talking about. But he also knows if he needs to go again because he needs the exact cut point. He needs to know what it's going to look like because that's that jump scare. That's that thing. And so I knew we could get it cleaner.
Well, I hope you got it eventually.
Or not. Maybe he just moved on and tried to make me feel good about it. But we still ended up wrapping early, so that's fine.
Like, I had it 5 takes ago, but here we go.
I know. But that did make me listen to him because I had like a really big scene first up for that. And the scene that we did for me was that day was it was out of order.
Stop me if this is spoilers or not, but have you had scenes with Rahul?
I can't say anything about anything.
All right.
But we've shot out of order.
Yeah.
And because of what Rahul said, it made me know that as soon as Mike came up the stairs and he said, I got it, I went, cool.
Yeah.
And stopped. I knew we had it.
Great. And then you rushed to the lunch table and
elbowed some people and moved on.
Yeah. It's great. I'm glad to see that you're growing.
Thank you,
an
as
actor.
A person.
Yeah. As an actor, as a person, as a human being. Yeah.
As a narcissist.
Yeah. It's nice to see you embrace it.
Thank you. Jeff, what do you think about putting the mail sack in the Patreon again?
It's fine. Let's do it.
If you want to email us or leave a comment, please do so at thesackhoffshow@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and YouTube is great as well. And also, do you know Spotify has comments now?
They do. Do you know that we have a 4.9 on Spotify?
Perfect. Let's get it up higher.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. I hope to see you this weekend in South Carolina and next weekend in Dragon Con. We've got a great guest coming up next week. And other than that, there's nothing else to say other than don't be the lady in row 1. And
at least she was fulfilling the stereotype of a lady in row 1.
That's what we're just going to call it. Don't be the lady in row 1.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
See you next Tuesday, or don't be that. See you next Tuesday. And that's what's up.